Hey guys, welcome back to In the Den. I'm your co-host Genesis with
I'm Ava.
and today we're joined by some varsity comp seniors, newly state champs, So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and we can get right into this podcast.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Katie.
And yeah, so basically thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. Y'all are the first team to win a state championship in Cherokee Bluff history, so that's kind of a big deal. So we wanted to have y'all because we know these past 2 years y'all have been like really strong in like the comp cheer kind of, what do you say, world?
Yeah.
World.
Yeah. And so I know Ava had some questions.
Well, what
so.
you just said, like, how does it feel from, like, winning state for the first time?
Yeah.
Like, how is that emotions like?
It feels like surreal. Like when they called our name for the first time, when they called second place, we knew. Like if you look in the
So
video.
you were being cocky.
No, we didn't even.
Oh my gosh.
If you look in the video, we didn't even clap for second place.
I'd never noticed that.
Because we were just so excited because we just knew.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And they called our name, and it literally, like, it didn't feel real. I felt like it was in a dream.
Yeah, I think it was just like, initially it's just like you're so in shock that like, and then all these thoughts, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get a medal, I'm gonna get a ring, like, then everything just starts like coming onto you after you've like kind of accepted it, and then it's like, oh my god, we're the first team to win state, like our parents, like they're so excited. There's just so many things that happened after that we all realized.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just so surreal.
Yeah, like we got to meet the mayor yesterday.
So we did. That
Yeah.
was pretty fun.
The Macon mayor or like the flower branch?
No, the
Oh, weren't y'all in Macon? Oh, no, that was last year, right?
No, we were in Macon to win, but
Yeah.
we got to meet the Flowery Branch mayor, and we got like a proclamation. I don't even know what that is.
I
Don't
don't-
ask me, but
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
really
you
cool.
met the mayor?
we did.
So
Met the mayor.
That's so random.
so
Just like
cute.
little Hannah Cole from ATL Hannah over there.
Shut up. No one else knows what that's from.
ATL Hannah. No, what was I gonna ask? I was gonna ask some. Okay, so like, did y'all got y'all's like official scores, right? Or okay,
Mhm.
so how much was like the difference from like first to second? Was like it close, or was it like, oh my gosh, like they blew them out of the water?
Really?
Like, what was the reaction?
um, it's just funny because there's a little bit of drama because it was a tie,
What?
but
You're lying.
but we can explain because obviously there's tiebreakers.
Yes, please explain.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not. I mean, there's been TikToks like, oh my gosh, we've had to like experience so much TikTok drama because like
Yeah.
people
Oh
have
my
posted our
gosh.
routine.
Yeah.
I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah, and it's like state champions, like whatever, and then these West Lawrence girls. Sorry,
those
I feel
the-
like I'm like scared. Like we love, like we're obviously so happy, and like we don't want anything. Like they were amazing. Like we both like were neck and neck, and so score wise, we scored a 98.5,
Yeah.
and so did they.
Both
but
teams, yeah.
yeah, so then I don't know what the third place team was.
It was Jefferson.
It was like
Oh, it was.
95.5.
Yeah, so we were a good like 3 points ahead
Yeah.
of the third place team.
Mhm.
Anyway, so then the tiebreaker I think is panel A, which
What does that mean?
in cheer words, if you want to explain.
Or normal world.
Panel
words.
A, so there's 3 different panels. There's panel A, B, and C. Panel A is like overall routine, like your jumps, performance, like no skills. It's literally just like
It's like persona.
appeal, crowd
Yeah,
appeal,
okay.
things like that.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, like, if you're pretty or not.
Oh wow.
No, I'm
We were
kidding.
prettier actually.
Genesis. Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
So, just the way you present yourself.
Pretty
Yes.
much.
Okay.
And like
Okay.
how you perform the routine, like
Yeah.
is it fun to watch?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
The music.
And,
It's like,
I think
yeah,
this year,
yeah.
instead of panel A, they went off of execution. So they
Okay.
added up all execution points from every,
Okay.
like from like all like stunts. To
Okay.
everything. And we scored 1.5 points higher on execution.
Yep.
Overall.
Yeah.
Than West Lawrence did. And
So that
that's
was the
how-
tiebreaker.
that's our tie.
So yes, it was a tie, but like when it came to the tiebreaker, we won. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like
well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's like how any other sport
Exactly.
is.
Exactly. And like they were amazing and they had a great routine, but it just came down to execution, and that's what we've talked about all year. It's kind of been like
Yeah.
this is going to be like a battle of like execution, which execution is just like your sharpness, are you hitting your motions on your count, is everyone together timing wise, so that's execution if
Yeah.
anyone just
Hey, viewers don't know how like
Yeah, I know.
complicated.
No,
this
honestly,
cheer
like,
is.
I was just about to say, like, I like how, like, intricate everything is. Because,
Oh,
like,
for
people are like,
sure.
oh, like, cheer, they automatically think, like, sideline
God.
cheer, like,
Mhm.
oh, this. But, like, people don't understand, like, every sport is, like, so intricate,
Yeah.
and especially when you spent, like, your entire life. Like, I know Hannah, she spent, like, her entire life, like, working towards this moment.
Oh my
and then,
gosh,
like, when
yeah.
it comes, like, down to it, people are like, well, y'all like time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like,
But
no,
it's
like,
really not.
we put so much
yeah.
work
Yeah.
to be that 1.5 better in execution, you know?
Exactly.
And we really do. So, you have to max out on certain things, right? We don't max out on standing tumbling. So that makes us automatically 1 point down.
Yeah, and that was our only thing that we didn't max out in. So we were going into state, we were already -1. So we could not like get the full
So
score.
you couldn't mess up. Well,
Yeah.
that's really wrong.
Well,
but
yeah.
yeah,
That was
there's
kind
no,
of the thing. It was like, okay, since we're this -1 going into state, we need to make that up with
Yeah,
execution.
yeah.
And I think that's why we were so like harped on execution the whole time, because it was like we need to make that up.
Yeah. And like I can't tell you how many practices we spent over half the practice not doing any skills. It was just like
That's cool, though.
Our stick and stands for every tumbling, our holds were just like a motion. Like everything just had
Oh
to
my
be
gosh.
so perfect, and we worked
Yep.
so hard to be like a unit.
Yeah,
you
and I
know?
think that's like going off like what you said about like how intricate it is. Like it's so true. Like people think that we can just like throw this routine out there with like an hour of practice a week. Like
Yeah.
no, like we would practice like sometimes 4 days a week.
Yeah.
For almost 2 hours every practice. So like I mean so much practice and like so much time went into this routine. So and it's definitely like when it comes to the score sheet, it's definitely so hard to understand and like understanding how you get these scores. So that's definitely a part that I don't feel like many people understand.
Yeah. And it kind of makes me, like, think of, like, gymnastics. Like, when, I don't know if y'all watched the Olympics over the summer, but, like, people who are like, well, I don't understand why this person, like, their routine was so much cleaner, but they, like, got less. And, like, how y'all are talking about how y'all have, like, automatically less skill points because it's less difficulty. But you still have to be, like, basically perfect.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're, like,
Yeah.
automatically screwed.
I mean,
I don't know.
you could have like all the skills in the world, all the tumbling in the world, and if you're not sharp, it does not matter. Like, you know, it really comes down to those little things for sure.
Yeah, like in every section of our routine, so let's just say like stunts, for example, like every section has a degree of difficulty and then your execution. And like, let's say your execution is out of 8, or your degree of difficulty would be out of 8, your execution's out of 10. So like no matter what skill you do, it's always like the execution is more important, because like you can have the most impressive skills, but if your execution's terrible, then that just defeats the purpose of doing those difficult.
Like it's gonna overpower difficulty in every section.
So this is like a really random question, but do y'all like have y'all's routine and you're like, all right, we're gonna do these skills, and then y'all give it to the judges, or do they just have to be looking out for it? Like, is it like does that make sense?
I'm confused by the question.
Like y'all have y'all's routine, right? And y'all have this amount of flips and this amount of holds or whatever they're called. Do y'all like give that number to the judges, or do they just have to be looking out for it?
Yeah, they look. Like every
Oh my
like
gosh.
going in. That's why being a judge would be so hard. Because I'm
Yes.
like,
I bet, yeah.
but there's like 5 judges. I feel like probably more,
And
and
I
they're
think-
all looking at certain things.
yeah, and they're like,
yeah.
just like one's for mainly stunts, one's
Exactly,
for tumble.
yes.
Yeah. So
and then
like,
one might be for execution panel A, like performance, and then another's for difficulty, and others for whatever.
yeah.
I
So
would
they-
hate to be a judge.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
always thought, I'm like,
Oh
that
my
has to be the
gosh.
hardest thing. And sometimes they're like really bad, and you're like, why would you give us that score? Why would you score us
Yeah.
that high? Why would you score us that low? Like, even Amanda would be like, that was way too high. Like, y'all did not deserve that.
Now there was some competitions like where we got like misscored because like some people didn't throw their tumbling and the judges just didn't
count
catch it.
Yeah.
They just didn't catch
Oh.
it, so we got more points. But then there was other times where we got knocked off on stuff that we should not have been knocked off on.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part about cheerleading, is that it's so subjective. Like at our region competition, which was the week before state, we scored a 100, and then at state we scored a 98.5. And our state routine was the best routine we have done all
yeah,
year, and
Exactly.
we
Scored lower than what we did
So-
at region. Yeah.
It's
But
just
like,
fair.
Yeah.
those state judges are always going to be like top.
Harder,
Like,
yeah.
they're like the top judges. Like, they know what they're doing. So our state score was honestly probably like, it was obviously the most realistic score of the
Yeah.
whole year.
And so like when y'all finished y'all's routine, y'all were like, we got this in the bag, or like
Yeah. What were the emotions going
like
through?
yeah, like as soon as the like, music
As soon as-
stopped,
yeah,
cheer,
Yeah.
like
Well,
what do you
I've,
think
like,
that was?
I've told everyone, I'm like, do not watch me in the dance. I probably should have not said that. Do not. I'm telling you, it is the most embarrassing thing. Like, none of us could just, like, we had no control over how we were feeling, because, like, we just knew, like, And I had been thinking it all year. I'm like, if we hit, like, that's all we can do. And, like, we had said that, like, go in and hit. Like,
Yes.
if you hit, there's nothing else we could have done. Like, we couldn't have, like, hit harder. Like, if we hit a hard routine, we did everything we could, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's up to the judges at that point. So I think just, like, knowing we did what we came in there to do, it was just, like, so overwhelming, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so we had already known that we had hit the best routine ever because
Ever.
at least
In the entire world.
That's
at
like,
least.
yeah.
Out of tier of tier.
In
No
the
one
whole
has
world.
ever hit a better routine. Turkey
Yeah,
Bluff
right.
is the best.
I mean, yeah.
Basically.
No, but like our previous competitions, so like our like warm up competitions for state, we had never hit at a competition. We'd hit multiple times at practice, but it felt like
Yes.
our work wasn't paying off because it just wasn't
Working on.
it just wasn't showing on the competition mat.
Mhm.
And so then like that's like what Katie said. All we wanted was just a hit, and like I would have been so excited and so grateful if we got like top 3.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, our coach said that she wasn't accepting it.
She's like, I'm
less
not,
than top
I'm
3.
not accepting anything less than 3
Not
points.
And that's your stunt coach, right? Amanda?
Amanda, she's our lay coach, so she's at an all-star gym and she comes and coaches
Yeah,
for
that's,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, she's kind of the really, like Cooper, she's, like, our hype woman. Like, she,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like, Miss
That's- yeah.
Cooper, absolutely love her. She would really focus on, like, the execution and, like, making things sharp. But Amanda was like, you're going to be dead by the end of this practice. Like,
yeah.
do this a million times. Like, I don't care. She was amazing, though. I don't think we could have really done it without them, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, like once we hit the end of our pyramid, so it goes pyramid, and then the very last thing is dance, and there's no skills in dance.
It's just, like,
You're just
pure-
dancing.
Yeah.
Our dance was a hot mess.
it was so bad.
It was so funny because like there's one point where I'm supposed to touch this girl's back, and I do this to touch her back, and she's not there, and I'm like, we were just so excited. Our emotions were just crazy. Like it was just a hot mess.
literally-
But
Yeah.
like honestly, like we got our emotions out in that dance because we were just so excited. So we just didn't know
Yeah.
what to do.
I mean, like jumping ever. Like we scored a 5 out of 8 in dance. We've scored full points for dance, almost full points, like probably 7 out of 8 all year. 5 out of 8, and I'm
Wow.
like we could have lost because we got too excited. Like imagine saying we lost state because we got too excited in the dance. Like
Oh my god.
And y'all almost did.
yeah, probably almost.
Yeah,
did.
it's just
Yeah.
But
it was so
to
overwhelming.
describe like how we felt, definitely just like watch the dance and you'll see because
Oh my
we were
gosh,
so
yeah.
excited.
No, there was like a moment after pyramid. I forgot the flyer's name, but she's the
Yes.
middle, and she was
Juliana.
patting everyone's
Yes.
back on the. I was
Yes.
like, that's a moment
Yes.
when you know instantly of like
Yes.
you hit this routine to the max, and then you're just like
Yeah.
you said, too excited.
Yeah.
And get overfilled and just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, for sure. And like we were definitely all screaming like perform, like it was so hard, and we were all just
Literally.
like,
Yeah.
it was so fun.
That's good.
I feel like that's like weird because like I play soccer, right? So like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
there's never like a moment. I know like Addie can relate to this too. There's never like a moment in the game where you're like, all right, we got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Unless you're like completely blowing someone
Like,
out.
Very
Like
true.
you
Yeah.
can be winning like 2-0 with 5 minutes left,
Yeah,
and it's
and-
still like
Yeah.
chill out. So
Yeah.
that's like really interesting to hear because like
Yeah.
y'all immediately knew like we got this, but like we still gotta perform. But like yeah, we got this. But like
Yeah.
for soccer, it's like and basketball too. Like y'all are that Katie.
I don't cheer.
You don't do basketball cheer,
No.
right?
But I did.
But you do, and like basketball is also like
You
you,
never know.
can't let go.
Even
or
football,
else,
like
yes.
every sport, like cheer is literally the only thing. And like, I don't want to say like when we got off the mat, like we knew, because like we really didn't, because we were, like the top 10 teams at state are like all amazing. Like we're all
yeah.
neck and neck. Like,
like within like 10 points of each other, which
Yes.
normally like the top 10 is within like 20 points of
Yes,
each
like,
other.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
yeah.
So like it was very like going in, you had no idea who was gonna like win. Like,
Like,
it could have been anyone.
This puts into I don't know if I should say this. This puts into perspective like the team that got first at region got 13th at state.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like it just was crazy. But like
Mhm.
like Katie said, I don't think when we got off the mat we like knew, but we just like we knew
We're
that
proud
that's-
of what we did.
we were so proud of what we did, and like we knew that that's like we never said
Sorry.
like
That
we,
out. Don't put that in.
we never said that we wanted to win state. We like obviously it would have been nice, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
look, it was nice.
All right.
but
All right, Hannah.
but yeah, so but like we just wanted to hit. That's all what we were saying the whole time is we just wanted to hit and be proud of ourselves because we haven't done that before in the season.
Yeah.
I guess in other words, you would say like as soon as you got at the mat, you knew that you had done the best that you could do.
Exactly.
Not that
Yeah.
you were like,
Yeah.
okay, I won,
Like,
like, we won,
yeah.
but you won like basically like y'all's like challenge,
Yeah.
goal for the year that was hit and
At-
do as best as you can, and then
Exactly.
leave it to the judges. Because
Exactly.
then you know, like, all right, I did whatever I could. If the judges suck, the judges suck. If the judges are in our favor, the judges are in my favor. But like,
Yeah.
I can end this season, especially as a senior, because you don't get another
Oh, yeah.
shot. Like this
Yeah.
was your last year, and that y'all can cry or whatever. But like,
We've already. Yeah.
but like that was your last shot, and just like knowing that you gave it your all, and that your all paid off, you know, like that's just like a satisfying feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know.
It was, yeah, because like definitely after, I think like we definitely like hugged and we were
No,
like
before.
before we cried so
Ooh.
much harder. Okay, before we even took the mat, like I remember I will literally cry right now talking about it. 'Cause, like it was just. I think I put that like we were at when we were asked the questions for like some other thing we're doing. I guess.
All right,
we're-
what are y'all meeting
we're
the
the county.
president?
No, but yeah, it was something.
No,
and it
just
was,
the
like,
vice president.
we were asked like what was the most memorable moment, and I was like, honestly, like before we even went on the mat, like before we even competed, like just the feeling like how our team like literally came together, like emotionally, like everyone was crying and like we were all just like so anxious and eager to go. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like me and Hannah was like, she was like, this is like the last time like me and Katie will ever do this, because like we're not doing all stars, or I'm not. We don't do all stars this year.
Yeah.
And so like that was literally the last time we would ever compete. And so Hannah said that, and
I couldn't even get my sentence
Yes.
out. I was like, this is the last time I've ever. And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and then
yeah.
Kinsley was starting. Then I'm like starting to talk, like I'm trying to hype him up, and I'm like, guys, like this is the last time. And like then after that, it was just like from there on, it was just like we're gonna kill it. Like
Yeah.
we're
But
literally.
I feel like when a team is bonded like that,
Oh, yeah.
y'all have like an advantage within
For
that
sure.
field of like mentally and like emotionally being together. I feel like that's just like a
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like that moment truly like showed just like how like bonded we were, because like we could get emotional like with each other, and we were just so open about our feelings, and like we wanted to do it like not just for ourselves. Like everyone was like, we're gonna do it for the seniors, we're gonna do it for like the people that can't. Like this is like, you know, it was just more than ourselves. And I
Yeah.
think that's something everyone understood and like really contributed to.
Well, now that we're talking about like doing it for what's it called and whatnot, I know last year y'all got to state, right, and y'all were like, okay, like we're gonna kill this, blah blah blah, and then y'all ended up getting second by a team that y'all didn't think was even in the
Yeah.
competition.
Well,
So
Yeah.
what was y'all's like from there, that moment to like now this, like how did that moment like define, or like I wouldn't say like define, but like how did that give y'all like a
Contribute.
different, like
Yeah.
do you think that contributed to it,
I
like
mean,
contribute to it, or do you think it was just kind of like an extra kind of drive, but like you weren't really thinking about it? Because I know a bunch of teams are like, oh, it's a revenge
Revenge,
arc,
yeah.
revenge
I don't
arc,
feel like-
revenge
whatever.
arc.
I don't know. I don't think that like specific moment gave us like any motivation for this season. But like last season, we were undefeated until state. We literally like won everything like almost like with ease. Like it like
Yeah.
we really ever came super close last season.
and we hit it every single competition.
Every competition, like we were like
That
we
was
thought we
good.
were going into state. What? What?
What time?
What?
What if
She was asking about a button.
She said,
Oh.
what if the whole thing didn't film?
Yeah,
We're still here, guys.
basically,
we're still rolling.
asking. It's
Ooh.
streaming in code, right? Okay. Okay,
Yeah, but
that would have been bad.
But yeah, so we were undefeated, and like all of last season until state. So we went into this season being almost like cocky, like we were like,
for sure.
oh, like we're fine, like you know.
No,
And then
so
we're
typical
coming.
cheerleader attitude.
Well, we just-
like we're better than everybody.
but then our third competition, which was Buford,
Ooh.
Good old Bufford.
fell apart all over the mat. Like it was awful.
Shout out Marley.
We
You know what I'm talking about.
we have never. I don't think we've ever looked that bad in a performance. Not even like in practice. Like it was terrible.
Oh my god, and like
Was there like a reason, or were y'all just like blah blah blah
I-
blah blah?
I think we were just so intimidated by like the arena, because like Buford Arena, like
Well,
hello.
yeah,
Literally
hello.
a college.
If
Literally
you-
a
Yeah.
college.
Well, if you know, they're like the warm ups and the competition mat are
Or
only
back to
separated
back. Yeah,
by
probably,
a
like, a
curtain.
curtain. Yeah.
So you
Ooh,
hear
yeah.
the crowd, you hear the music playing while you're warming up, which normally warm ups is like quiet. You're like
you
in
can
your
like kind of
zone.
lock in, but like not at Buford. Like
Not at Buford.
I mean, I guess you could, and like, but I don't. There was probably like maybe 2 teams that hit a perfect routine at Buford,
It was
and like
crazy.
I don't know, but it was just not our best moment. And so
Yeah.
you're right. Like I think that really kind of like we were like, oh, it humbled us for sure.
It humbled us, and we needed to be humbled because, like,
Yeah.
like last year, we thought we were it. Like, we were like, oh yeah.
And then
we got
Central Carroll comes in and like, we're not co-ed anymore. Like, we're coming for
Yeah,
mm-mm.
it was.
Mhm.
It's a whole other story.
it's fine.
But yeah,
We'll
so then like after
I mean,
Buford,
we've got time.
No, part 2.
yeah, after Buford, like we like really had to be like, okay, now people see like our mistakes, and now we got that out of the way, and then
Yeah.
we then the other competitions we definitely came back and we were a lot better and a lot more confident because we were humbled
Yeah.
at Buford.
Yes.
And I think like even there was like a good moment where practices were like very like not good, like
Yeah.
hard
Mm.
practices, not bad practices. They were hard.
It's hard.
They were
Just
just
hard
yeah.
practices, and
I like that.
yeah, that's what Amanda was. She's like, don't. These are not bad practices. These are hard practices, which is true. Like
Yeah.
we would really have to like persevere and like push through, like even when it was terrible, you know. And so I think with like those practices, like all of that really, I feel like is what contributed to like us winning, rather than like
One specific moment.
yeah, rather than like last year getting second, being cocky, humbled, hard practices. That I feel like that's kind of like
Mhm.
the calendar or like the timeline of like what I would say. Like
Yeah.
And do you think like going into that Buford comp like kind of prepared y'all for like the environment of state?
oh,
For sure.
yeah,
Or do you
'cause
think
it's very
since y'all had
similar.
already been there, it was like, all right, we've been here before, let's
Like at
nerves.
state?
Yeah, like, or do you
I-
think?
I definitely wasn't as nervous. I feel
Oh
like
my
for
gosh.
this state.
I was a wreck. I
Yeah,
was a
Really?
You were
I
nervous.
was oh my gosh, I was definitely like severely nervous. But I feel like last year I've done so many cheer comps, like more than I can count. Like I've competed so many times, but I would say last year's at state when we got second was the most nervous I've ever been. Like so this year I was obviously nervous, but like compared to last year, that was like tops all. Like I don't know why. So I think this year, like knowing like we'd been there before and like just knowing it was my last time, and like I was so confident in us, and like our warm ups were like good. Everyone was just like vibing, I guess. Like I don't know the word. Like we were all just like in such like a good place.
Mm-hmm.
So I was definitely nervous, but I was a lot less nervous than I was last year. Like last year, I literally blacked out on the mat. Like I'm not even joking. I don't remember a
Oh my
single thing.
gosh.
Like
Well, that's why y'all lost.
Katie's blackout.
Y'all could have 2 rings by now.
No, like I was the most nervous I've ever been for this state, which was making me even more nervous because last time I was super nervous was Buford, and so I was
Oh,
like
no.
Buford this year, so I was so
That-
nervous,
yeah.
and then we fell apart, so I was like, oh, that's gonna happen again. I was
Oh,
like, this
yeah.
is freaking me out. But then, so warm-ups at state are very similar to Buford. Like,
Yeah.
so much stuff is going on,
Mhm.
and actually we had to stop warming up
Yeah.
for about like 10 minutes because a girl threw up on the mat that we compete on.
So they had to like stop
yeah.
everything.
clean it up. And
Wait,
start
I did not
everything.
see that. When did that happen?
It was like way before we went on.
It was probably like a good like 10 teams before us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So like a girl threw up on the mat, so they had to stop the competition, and everyone had to stop warming up. So then after, like we were just in warm ups, just standing there.
Yeah.
So then we start back warming up. My stunt goes, and I fall smack to the ground.
Oh my god.
I don't think it was no one's fault. So like my stunt group, if you're watching, I love you. But it was no one's fault. But like I fell straight to the ground. I got the wind knocked out of me. Like the next day, like I
Ooh.
could not feel my side
Mm.
because it was so
I,
sore.
I totally forgot about that. I was like so scared. I was like, wait, like she's hurt, like
And, like-
seriously hurt. And
Uh-huh.
I like
Oh
asked
my
her if she was okay.
gosh.
She's like, and I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. And
Oh
my
my
stunt fell too
gosh.
in warm ups. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it was that bad, but like yeah.
Like I got the wind knocked out of me, but then like that also knocked the nerves out of me because like our warm up was going too good.
Oh, it was like
Right.
it was too good. It's like
So
if you,
something had to
if
happen.
you do good in warm ups and you don't mess up in warm ups, you know you're gonna mess up on the mat.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's like
that's
when you
like-
have a
yeah,
bad
yeah,
practice,
yeah.
it's then you have like an amazing like
Yeah.
stunt or game, whatever. Okay, yeah, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
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 I think that's like Amanda always says that. Like if we fall in warm ups, she's like, I'm so glad that happened because like
Yeah.
you would definitely
Oh,
rather
yeah.
fall in warm ups.
Then like face, like you said, face
On
got
the-
your
on
wind
the
knocked
mat.
out of you on the state mat.
And I just like sat there for a minute. I was like,
Yeah, you just gotta breathe.
because I could
in.
not breathe, and I don't even remember you asking me.
I,
was
did,
like,
I remember, and you were like, I was like, oh god. But then
You're like, "Ugh."
we went to like the run through mat, like where we kind of like last chance to like do anything you need to warm up, and I think we really kind of like got up because what team? The first Northwest Whitfield.
Northwest
was right in
Whitfield.
front of us,
Yeah.
and they were in first place, like going into state. So we were like,
Hey, maybe my fall like intimidated them, and that's why they got 13.
Oh my.
I don't know.
Oh.
They're, like,
terrible.
on that run through mat, they were literally watching us, and I was like,
Oh
I
my
know it's so
gosh.
hard. Like everyone was like
Mhm.
Yeah.
clapping and like
Yeah.
it was so good. So then
Well, I actually do have a question from like our previous conversation. What did y'all like being seniors, knowing it was your last time? Like, is it days? Like, is state days like a day's worth of like different days? Like, is this
Is it like a 2-day competition?
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
just 1 day.
okay?
Yeah.
So like before you went on and the day before, what were you like? I know, like we already said, like what were you thinking? But like, was there a specific thing that you did before that it's
before state.
Oh.
that it's just making like
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be you separately, like as individuals, like as a team. What did you do to like, I don't know, just like before state even happened, like
Yeah.
just to like, I don't know.
I think like I would like. Sorry.
No, you're-
I'm like the whole like weeks before even leading up to region and state, like if I can like spread it out that long, like I genuinely like, and I've said this so many times, like the way that like Amanda and Miss Cooper like pushed us, like
Oh my
my gosh, I can't. Like I'm obviously so grateful now, but like during the moment, I literally think we all wanted to like quit. Like I was like,
Wow.
Like after a
Kill
full
them.
out, I couldn't like I feel like I couldn't walk. Like my
No,
legs
yeah.
would like shake.
that's
and then on like even after the full out, we would like have to do like 8 lines of our stunt. And like
Yeah.
it was like one of those things. It's like you get to the 7th line, and let's say your stunt falls, you restart.
So
That did happen.
Genesis, let me explain this.
Yeah,
okay.
like,
Genesis,
I forget.
It's
I don't
like
know.
lines.
So our mat,
stunts.
you know how like our mat, it has like tape on it, right?
Yes.
So we do our stunt on every single tape. There's 6 things of tape. Okay.
Mhm.
So we do our stunt on one line, and then if we hit it, we can move. If we don't hit it, then we have to go all the way back.
So
to
it's
the
basically
beginning.
like ladders.
pretty.
Yeah, but you
like,
do the skill at each line.
Suicides.
so we had
if you
like
will.
we had 3 sections.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, we had 3 sections in our stunt. So we did every
oh,
section.
So you like dialed it down.
Yes,
did, like
okay.
every
Yes.
section all the
That
way.
makes sense.
So bad.
And the next section all the way, and the next section all the way, and then we did our full stunt all the way.
So I mean, this is like 30 plus times lifting
Easily.
the girls up,
Easily.
and so like I was saying, like if you fall on the 8th line, you're going back, and
Yeah.
you have to do it 8 more times. This did happen to my stunt. Shout out stunt group, love y'all. But it was like super bad because I was like thinking the whole time, I'm like, we fall on the 8th line, like Amanda's not gonna make us go back. Like that is too much. Like she's crazy if she thinks we can go. Like I cannot do that. Like my body can do that. Like not do that. My arms are literally about to fall off. She's not going to. We fall. She's like, okay, go back. I'm like,
I remember
Are
that
you
practice. I like,
so bad. I was sore for like.
and
5
like the
days.
rest of the team wasn't allowed to get water until they finished. So we have to like, because we
Cheer
weren't
for
allowed to
us?
individually get water. We had to like do it like as a team. But like it was, I never wanted to go through that ever in my entire life
It was-
because that was horrible.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Like I think I was like about to cry. Like genuinely about to cry, throw up. It was so bad. Anyways, with that being said, without that, I don't feel like we would be like without those practices and those difficult practices and like those hard practices where like our coaches truly believed in us, like that really like set the tone for like how we're gonna do it state. Because Amanda, like she would say, she's like, you don't want to like whatever the outcome is at state, like we don't want to look back and be like we could have worked harder.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and that really stuck with me. Like I don't know about you, but like just knowing that and like hearing like, okay, I'm gonna do everything I can because I don't want to look back and be like
Yeah.
we could have done that more times.
Yeah.
And so I think
And
long term looking at that, that's
Yeah.
really what contributed for me like
Yeah.
going into state. As
Yeah.
far as a few days before, I mean, I don't know. You
I
can-
feel like
yeah, a few days before. I mean, like the day of and the night before, like I
Yeah.
have my superstitions.
Oh,
you know,
for
like,
sure.
you
Yeah,
believe in
sure.
what are your
For
superstitions?
sure.
Okay, well, like but it's not necessarily like superstitions, but like if my hair is really easy, then it's gonna be a great run.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be
Mm.
region, like
Ryan, what does that mean?
like a great like it's
a-
gonna be a good
oh,
comp.
like
Like
good
we're gonna do good.
Like a good,
Okay.
good
Um,
vibes.
Because like our hair is very difficult to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
yeah.
hair is very shut up. My hair is like really long, so like I have to do mine a little bit differently than some girls.
Quite short, actually.
Yeah, clearly. But like region, so the weekend before, my hair took me over an hour to do. And I was like so stressed out. And then we did bad at region because my stunt fell.
We didn't
And
do bad, but
we
like
didn't do bad,
we had
but-
like one mess up.
I was so
Okay.
disappointed because I was so mad.
It's because of your hair. All because of your
All
hair.
because of my
all
hair.
because of the hair.
And then
Your arms got so sore doing your hair, you couldn't.
yeah.
Oh,
your
yeah.
energy was
Oh,
gone by the
yeah.
time of the competition.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if my hair goes up really easily, then it's gonna be good, and that happened at state. I have to wear the same socks, And they were the socks we wore all last season. I washed my socks. I'm not gross.
No, I know, but
I
your
definitely
socks
don't have
all
socks.
have holes in them.
No,
Oh, they
no.
do.
These ones are
Right?
different. These ones are the ones that we got last year.
With
that-
like the state
the
check
check
off.
marks.
There's like check marks on the bottom, and it's like Buford check, Mill Creek check. Like
Ooh,
and you check off each
period.
one. So like
Okay.
super like interactive socks.
Yeah.
Adding those to my Christmas list.
Yeah. And then like we have to walk out with the same people.
Yeah, that was.
So
The walkout, yeah.
I walk out with Blair Bamel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
Don't know who that is, but
you
shout
know
out
Parker
Blair.
Parker Bamel,
Okay.
her younger sister. I walk out with her, and then
Oh my god, we always did. This is like my favorite one. It's so cute and like little.
Yes.
So we would set up and like if you watch me and Hannah, like we have our like our toes
Oh my gosh.
and like
Wait,
our-
like we go like this.
like this. Like so like my foot's on top.
And then Blair's is right here, and we all push our
we
toes
do like a
down.
little hug.
Aww.
A hug
And
with
so
our
we
toes.
did that every
Y'all are
single time.
insane.
No, like and like if we didn't, which there was never a time we didn't do it. Like
Yeah.
we literally, it was just like a part of the routine at that point. Like
Mhm.
literally did it every time. Like
That's
that's
so
probably
fun,
like
though.
the one thing when we got to the mat. Like I was like Blair's little tap.
I forgot that we did that. Yeah. And
It was-
then
it's always like I think it's just like muscle memory. I don't even
Yeah.
think about it.
And then there's one part of the routine where Katie wasn't in this because you're about to go tumble, but I have to like hold arms with two people. It was Marley Henson and then Emmy Jones. And it's like hold arms, and Marley would struggle on her tumbling, at least in the beginning of the season. At the end, she was
Shout out
great.
Marley. We love
Shout out
you.
Marley.
I love
At the
you.
end, she like wasn't even a problem at all.
Oh, she. Yeah.
But
she
I'd
got
always
that.
I'd like squeeze her arm like this. I'd be like, let's go, Marley. Like I'd like push my fingers like
Aw.
onto her forearm.
Yeah.
I'm trying
yeah.
to think.
Oh, and I did the same thing to Chloe when I would walk back.
Oh yeah, y'all did. Y'all did
Mhm.
like a little thing. I like throughout the routine. I feel like I'm not gonna be like I had no breaks because like I definitely
You
like,
didn't. I did. 'Cause I
yeah,
would
like
tumble.
because I really didn't honestly because like I would do motions at least and then like my running tumbling especially at state was like immediate so like I had to go so like I really Lindsay so Lindsay did a round off tuck like first pass like round off tucks to the corner. I don't like cheer language I guess but
The round off backflip.
yeah
Yeah, I
round
know.
off
Okay.
yeah good job okay I would
Hannah, I am following.
if you're not just let us know but
Wait,
Lindsay
Let me repeat. No, I'm kidding.
So Lindsay was my back spot and my stunt, and she would like always like we'd be stunning like in the front. And she'd be like, "Okay, tell me I can do it. Tell me I can do it." Like she's lifting up
Aw,
the
I
stunt. And she's looking at me and she's like, "Tell me I can do it." I'm like, "Lindsay, you got this. Like, come on." And I would literally probably slap her. If we weren't stunning, I would literally slap her like so hard and be like, "You got this. Like you're like you got this."
You're
I'm so
So basically, you abused
sorry.
her.
I did, and Hayden too. Hayden Brady, love you. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm just like, I guess I just hit them. Anyways, but she would go to do her tumbling, and I would literally scream. Like, if you watch me, like, I'd literally be like, "Let's go, Lindsay!" Like, but like, scream really loud. I'm not gonna scream right now, but like,
Yeah, I'd really appreciate you.
and if every time I didn't do that, she would bust. So
Yeah.
I kind of figured out that like, I even like at state, I did it. I was like, "Come on, Lindsay, land it. We're good. Tumble. We got it." That was kind of mine.
State champs, perfect.
Yeah.
State champs.
All right, so like we're getting close on time, so
This has been
That's-
so fun.
I know, right?
I wanna
Isn't
keep
it-
talking.
It's fun.
This is
It's
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Part two.
I could talk about this state literally
No.
for years.
I could talk to y'all for years. I love
Oh,
y'all.
I love y'all too.
Anyways,
Aw.
so just what do you last questions if you want to ramble. Anyways, but as seniors, like what has set this team apart from like all the other years? I know Hannah, you've been here 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, you came here after your freshman year. Katie, you've been here since middle school.
Yeah.
So y'all have kind of different experience, but y'all are at the same end goal now. So like, what do you think this team? What has been so different about this team compared to everyone, all the other years? Or is it just
Yeah.
like
I mean, like, cause I didn't cheer for like a while. I cheered and then I did volleyball and then I
you did
decided.
soccer?
No, I did do soccer in middle school. No.
It was so much fun. She would go out there and tackle the crap out of people. I would be like, yes, Katie. Like,
No,
go, Katie.
I was a little like linebacker. Like I'm pretty sure like
that's
that was
that's
my
her name in my
Yes.
Snapchat.
Oh my.
No, guys. Anyways, and then I got concussions and like couldn't do it anymore. Remember, I had
Yeah.
like 3 concussions.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that's
continuing on.
Awkward.
So then I decided to cheer again, and I think like I was on the team last year when we got second, and then this year I don't even know. Like I just feel like we were just so like bonded, and like it wasn't even like the whole year we were like the goal was winning state. Like I think it might have been mentioned a few times like we're gonna win, but it was never we're winning.
It was never consistently mentioned.
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
was not like our whole goal. Like we didn't even know if we were going to stay at the beginning. Like
Mm-mm.
obviously like we knew we were going to be good. Like we were most likely going to make it, but like you have to place top 16 at region to even make it.
Mm-hmm.
To stay.
Out of how many
Yeah.
teams?
It was like almost like I think like 32.
Yeah.
Like we had to go against like 32 other teams to make.
Mhm.
That's crazy
That's a lot
though.
of
Like,
teams.
So like yeah, I don't know. It was
Yeah,
we're just so
well-
bonded. I don't even that
Yeah.
sounds so average, but like genuinely like
Mhm.
everyone was so supportive.
Yeah, and like so I immediately joined competition cheer when I got here. So my sophomore year we were JV. We didn't even have a varsity team
I
'cause
remember
we were
that.
like we were like building up the program.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That team we had some issues with like some people on the team just like fighting, like we didn't really get along very well. But then so there was that, and then last year it was such a fun team. Like I feel like
What?
we were all best
Oh
friends.
my god. Yeah.
But like we didn't really like Matt talk as much. I feel like
oh yeah, and I think it's because like we didn't have like the like issues that we had this year.
Mhm.
Like we were so confident that like
last year was easy because we never struggled.
yeah,
Like, it was just like a breeze for everything. Like our
Yeah.
stunts were always super easy. We had all the tumbling we needed.
yeah. Like there were definitely hard practices, but
Mhm.
like compared to this year, I think that's definitely like
Yeah, like we had more of a drive this year because
sure.
we had to make up that extra point. I mean, like last year we were down a point too, but it was not. I don't know why. Like it just didn't feel the same.
I
like,
know, like yeah,
Like this year we were down a point, and like we had to make that point up. Like we,
Mhm.
yeah.
and at one point we were down 2 points.
Yeah.
So like we made that point up and everything.
And then Lauren, oh my gosh, Lauren.
yes, Lauren.
And like everyone, we just like I don't know, we would just work so hard, and like we
Yes.
would go to Star and Tumble, which is like Amanda's gym,
Mm-hmm.
and like Lauren got her full mid-year, like Chloe threw her full through to full. Shout out Chloe.
a full is a spinny backflip.
The like spin. So Chloe.
Oh
would do-
yes,
Yeah.
She's done it. She's done it at games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've seen them.
yes.
She's
Yeah.
done them
Yes.
at football.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like Lauren got that. So like that gave us another point in running. Plus Chloe's full through to full, which is like round off, spinny back flip, back handspring, another spinny back flip.
Okay.
All
oh
at
my
once.
gosh.
I know.
Yes, one time. So
Mhm.
like
Wow.
she's a real one for that.
Yeah.
And Lauren.
Shout
and
out
Hayden.
Chloe.
And Hayden.
Hayden did her 2 to full,
Oh,
which
she-
is back handspring, back handspring,
handspring.
spinny backflip.
But like without the round off. Like
Without a backflip. She did it
standing.
for the first time in warm ups at a competition.
Yes, in warm ups.
In
For the
warm-ups.
first time.
Oh wow.
She did it.
what?
Yeah.
First time this season.
Yeah, she
But
did it last
anyways,
year.
yeah, so like I feel like this season we weren't as close like all together. Like last year I feel like we were
Yeah.
all friends. This year we weren't like all friends, but we had like another like emotional connection.
Yeah,
if
and
that
just like
makes
a
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
drive that like topped everything. Like
yeah, and like we were so supportive of each other.
oh, yeah.
Like it was like always like I don't know. I constantly had people telling me good job. Like I told people good job all the time. Like
Mhm.
after we had done something, I would cheer people on.
Yeah.
Other people would cheer everyone else on. Like it was just like
Yeah.
an like I don't know. Like I can't explain
Just
it to
like a
anyone who hasn't ever
community.
experienced
Yeah.
No, I know-
it. It's
I know
so,
what
like
you're
it was
saying.
so good.
Because like we've done what like 3-4 podcasts this year,
Mhm.
like including y'all,
Mhm.
and like I'm not even gonna lie, like our sports this year have been like on fire. Like
Yes.
Oh my
football,
gosh.
football, they just made history by going
Yeah.
semi. I don't
Quarter.
know.
Quarter.
Quarterfinals. Y'all made history, first team to win state.
Mm-hmm.
Softball has made history, first team to make it to the state championship.
And softball, yeah.
Yeah, am I missing anyone else? Anyways, but
like
this
baseball last year.
Baseball last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm so glad that we.
Okay, wait, pause. Let me finish what I know what you're gonna say. But I think just one of the things that I've noticed, like from like being like recording these podcasts, is everyone has said like the teams this year have just been so bonded.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh,
like when
yeah.
you're bonded with your team, like it gives you something more to play for than just like, oh, I want to
Yeah.
make a name for myself, I want to make a
Mhm.
name for the school.
And-
But when you play for each other, like it just gives you like another drive,
Yeah.
like that you can't explain.
Yeah.
So I think that. Anyways, that was just a random
Yeah.
thought.
No.
No, but
yeah.
I think that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the whole season we talked about, or towards the end of the season, we talked about our why.
Yeah, like
Um,
what our why was.
Like what our why was, and then like it was always each other. Like
Oh, I
it
love
was
that.
always each other, just to do it for each
That's
other.
nice.
And like
people-
it's bigger than like yourself. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I feel like it was just do your job. Like don't and Chloe would always say this before I can't remember what she said. She was like, do it for your other like I don't even know. She would just like
I mean, people
always
would
have
say like
stuff.
do it for the seniors. People would say
yes.
because like if
And Chloe would be like, if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your team.
yeah
You know,
Ooh, yeah.
like, and it really just like
That's gonna hit you hard.
punch
Yeah,
you in the
yeah,
gut.
yeah.
You're like, okay, like no matter what, like I'm
Because
doing
you do
it
at the
right.
beginning of the season, like you sign your player contract or whatever, you're making a commitment to that team.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to show up one day, all right, whatever, but show up for the other people.
Yeah.
Because you made a commitment to
Right.
show up for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's just a little rambling. I don't know.
No, you're
I just
good.
love team sports. That's why. Anyways, back to what I was saying. We have had people at the school win individual state championships, but something about winning a team sport, I don't know. It's
like
I don't know if
winning
it,
with your team
yes,
and
I don't know if it's because I play team sport, but
Yeah.
it just means so much because it's not
Yeah.
only for you, but it's for everyone on your team.
Mhm.
And, like,
It's
our
for the
parents,
families.
like-
Yes, exactly.
Gosh.
the parents.
That was another memorable moment, and then I'll shut up after this. But going back to our parents after we had competed, not even after
Ooh.
we had won. It was bef-
Officially.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was before we won.
Yeah.
We went to our parents, and they were all an emotional wreck.
Oh my
all of them were
gosh.
crying.
Like my mom does not cry. Does not cry. I've probably seen her cry maybe one time. She was bawling. I was like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you?
Like,
What is
the
wrong
dog
with you?
cry.
I was like, what? Why are you crying? And she's like, I'm so proud. I don't know.
Yeah.
Your
Oh, I
mom was
love that.
crying. Literally everyone was crying. So that was
Wow.
super
Yeah.
special.
And it's and you texted me before we even won. Because before I even saw my parents, you were like, I'm so proud of you. You did
Yes,
so
well, 'cause
amazing.
I was really bummed out because I was in Virginia when y'all were
Uh-huh.
competing, so I'm watching online, and I wanted to go, right? But
Mhm.
of course, I'm in Virginia for soccer, so I pull it up on my iPad and I'm watching it. I'm just watching it so proud because
Yes.
everyone on the team, I just love them so
Yes.
much. You and I have grown really close the past year and a half. Katie and I, we've known each other, and
yeah.
we got super close in soccer
Yeah.
middle school, and
Oh.
your brother and I are close. So I was just so proud of everyone, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I love this team.
No, yeah, I remember watching it too with my mom. We were watching it on our
Yeah.
iPad too, literally, and we were watching on our iPad. And my mom goes "I'm so proud of that team. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
comp team's so good." And then I remember after y'all performed, our football group chat blew up for sideline. We were congratulating y'all.
yeah. I remember
Me and Kimmy
that.
were on the ball of tears. Oh my gosh, we were just so proud. And then I remember y'all won, and instantly that group chat was "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
It was
No,
crazy.
it was.
Yeah.
It was crazy,
Yeah.
and I did not expect as much support as we got.
Oh my gosh, it's insane.
So many people were texting me oh my gosh, it was amazing, and people were crying that they were I was crying, I don't even know why I was crying, I couldn't even tell you who. There were just so many people. They were y'all are so good, y'all are so amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just. And it being our senior year just made it so much more special, and the fact we can end our comp.
It's I almost don't want to cheer again because I
No,
don't
I'm
want to do
never.
any worse.
So I'm I'm at my peak and I'm stopping here. I can't go down.
yeah.
Oh, you gotta go higher. Come on.
I mean, how much higher? National champion, world
Yeah.
champion.
College, baby, college.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see.
Well,
So
all right. Well, one thing that we like to do in the podcast is we like y'all give someone a shout out. Whether it can be anyone, it can be a teacher, a parent,
Mm-hmm.
teammate.
Anyone you
So
want to.
y'all want to give someone a
literally
shout out?
Shout out so many people.
I'll shout out Juliana because
Good
she
one.
is the only freshman that was on mat, and the growth that she had throughout the season was insane. I'm just so proud of her, and she was she was so funny.
She was. Oh my god.
She's
She really
hilarious.
made us laugh. She was quiet, super quiet.
And
But
then
really
she'll open
just-
her mouth, and it's the funniest thing you've ever heard in your
She's
entire life.
hilarious. We love
And
her.
it's she just worked so hard, and she was another flyer, and it's also really hard to come in as a flyer because there's only 4 of us out of 16, so it's really hard to come in as a freshman and a flyer, and she just worked so hard, and she was so supportive of everyone, and
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I literally could shout out everyone because I'm just so proud of everyone. My stunt group definitely shout out y'all, Lindsay and Sophie and Kara. But I just want to shout out Chloe because she really was our MVP. I feel
Yeah.
without her, we would not be maxed out in tumbling. She had that pull through to full that really helped us. And 2 to full. And she was just top encourager. She would pray before we went on.
Love
And
that.
she would always do that. So she was just our go-to girl, and she really without her we probably would not be where we are right now. So I definitely just want to shout out her because I don't know if she definitely gets recognition, but
yeah, and
we
she
love
had the hardest routine
she
by
for sure.
far, and
And
every
pushed
stunt, every
through.
tumbling, and she continued to still
And,
cheer us on and everything, even though she did not have a time to breathe in the routine.
Oh my gosh.
And she didn't just go through the motions. She she's was nearly broke her back probably 5,000 times
Oh my
trying to
goodness.
keep stunts up.
Mhm.
She gave 100% the whole time, and so I can't help but shout her out. And
Yeah.
my little bestie, love you.
Well, honestly, this was really fun.
Yeah, I
It was
love
so
it.
fun.
good.
Y'all were
It was
so
really-
good.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
you know, just again, thank y'all guys so much for coming on the podcast.
Of course.
Well, thank y'all for watching. Because,
Hey.
you know, like,
Like,
thank you for Mr. Austin for providing this. And, you
Yes.
know, we'll see y'all guys next time. Adios.
Adios.
Bye.